I was watching the Madlanga Commission, and I just couldn't watch anymore. I just couldn't do it anymore because, first of all, it's embarrassing, and secondly, it got me thinking about you know growing up. You had heroes that you look up to. That there's a guy, whether it's your teacher or your school principal, or a guy who is the first engineer to be qualified as an engineer in your village or township. But what has happened is that this government has destroyed any form of excellence, any form of black excellence. Because you look at what has happened in Ekurhuleni with the EMPD and the city manager, and why do they do this to us? Why do they keep appointing people who are so bad at their jobs, and people who, when they come on TV and you're watching this and you can't believe what you're looking at. You cannot believe that these are the people who are in charge of very, very important things. What does the ANC do that? Because I'm telling you right now, Julius Mkwanazi, that guy's intellectual capacity is like the capacity of a 7-year-old. He cannot answer any questions. He doesn't even understand the questions. So this is the head, this is the guy who was the chief of police for EMPD. So when you look at all the nonsense that happens in our municipalities and the bylaws being broken on a daily basis and the Metro Police taking bribes and doing whatever the hell they want, now you know why. Because the guy at the top is useless. Why do they keep doing this? And we're just talking about one municipality, just one. So imagine you get a job at Ekurhuleni, and the chief of police is Julius Mkwanazi, and the city manager is that lady. What's her name? Dr. Mashazi, Dr. Something. And those are the people that are in charge of those departments. What are you going to do? I can tell you now, after attending about 3 meetings, we're going to look for another job, because you very quickly realize that this is not happening. This is ridiculous. So the question I'm asking myself as a black person is to say, are you telling me that they couldn't find anybody who was more qualified than Julius? They couldn't find anybody who was qualified to be the chief of police or whatever position that is held before. This is the best they got. This is the best person available for that job at that moment. Come on, man. Guys, it is so where's your pride in what you do? Where's your pride in excellence? Where's your pride in delivering a service that you're qualified to do? Where's your pride, man? Don't you want to be an example to young kids coming up? Don't you want to be the person that other people look up to and say, wow, look at that guy. His ethics, his morals, his work ethic. I want to be like that guy. Now, what happened to that, guys? The ANC has destroyed like any trace of excellence, which means that if you arrive at that department and you're an excellent person, two things are going to happen to you. One, they're going to get rid of you. Two, you're just going to resign because you realize very quickly that you don't belong there, because the place is full of idiots. I'll say it straight up. It's full of stupid people. So how do you expect Julius Mkwanazi, the head of police in EMPD, to lead any form of, to lead a team into a strategy and say, guys, this is what we're going to do to make sure that we can combat this and do this? How many contracts have these people signed without understanding the weight of those contracts? How many contracts? How many instructions have they given out to their teams that didn't even pass the bar? It is so upsetting, man. And I can only talk as a black person to say, in South Africa at the moment, why would you want to have a city manager who carries themselves like that? Why would you want to have a city manager who's got a PhD in nursing? And where are your ethics, man? What happened to being proud of black and successful, black and excellent? What happened to that? So we're just not taking anybody now because he's your friend or your cousin. Whatever happened to that? Why do they keep doing it? Listen, in the whole of Ekurhuleni, you telling me that from Tembisa to Vosloorus, from Eastgate all the way to I don't know, Babs Fontaine. Nobody could do the job that Julius is doing. There was no better qualified person than Julius Mkhwanazi. No one else. That was the guy. He was headhunted. That's the guy we're looking for to make sure that he can take EMPD to higher levels. That's the guy. Come on, man. Give me a break, man, guys. Come on, guys, man. What happened to us? What happened to South Africa, man? What happened to being proud of being excellent? And then you can look at your CV and say, look what I've done. And you can go give some talks to young people who are in high schools next to where you work and say, guys, you can do it. So now it means that if you are excellent and you do well at school and you get all the degrees, that's not what they're looking for. You have to have really bad morals and you have to be a very stupid person to qualify to be in that group. And that group, we are looking at it on TV right now, and all of us are looking at it like how did we end up here? How do we get to a place where excellence means nothing? Excelling in your work means nothing. All you've got to do is know a couple of people, have a couple of connections, and you're in. And the consequences don't matter. Whether people die or break bylaws, it doesn't matter. As long as you're my guy, I'm your guy. You scratch your back, you scratch mine. That's fine. I'm disappointed, I'm embarrassed, I'm disgusted. And I'm telling you now, I'm talking from a black person's point of view to say, what are we looking at? Where are the excellent black people that exist in South Africa? Where are they? Are you telling me when that position came up, nobody else applied for the position? Julius was the only one that applied for that position? Come on, give me a break, man. Come on, guys, man. What are we doing to ourselves? You know what? I think for the past couple of years, I've always had a question in my head to say, how do African countries and African states fail? Why do they look the way they do besides all the abundance in minerals? Why do most African countries just collapse? It's because they continue putting people in positions of power, and those people have no idea what they're doing. Those people, all they have to do is belong to a certain party and have certain connections and know certain people, and that's it. And that kind of thing manifests in every area of our lives, from potholes to law enforcement, to the crime levels that we have, to everything. And you can see it accelerating at a very high speed. Because eventually it affects a small area, the municipality, the province, and the whole country. And before you know it, it becomes a culture where it doesn't matter who holds the position, as long as it's somebody that looks like me and is okay. Because I refuse to believe that in the whole of Ekurhuleni, city of Ekurhuleni, there isn't at least 100,000 people who can do a better job than Julius Mkhwanazi. So what happened to that? So guys, it's time to get our pride back. Let's go back to merit. Let's go back to merit and put people in positions that are qualified to be there and they've got the passion to improve. If you walk into a department and you have any level of excellence, one of your first priorities is, what are the existing systems and what can I do to make it better? But then with these people, I'll tell you what their approach is. They walk into a place, the first question they probably ask is, what's the budget? Oh my God, we've got R1 billion budget to do this and this and this. How much of this R1 billion can we get for ourselves? What can I do to make sure my house is paid or I get a new car? So that is the fabric that we are designing for the whole country and for the black child. Because excellence means nothing. So why would you want to work so hard? All you've got to do is get yourself connected to a couple of people and you'll be okay. So you look me in the eye right now and tell me if you think, what's her name again? Dr. Mashazi? If the former city manager of Ekurhuleni and Julius Mkhwanazi are qualified for those positions, guys, be honest with yourself. What interview did he go through? What I'm watching is almost unbelievable. It's like I'm watching a movie where I need to convince myself at the back of my head that no, don't worry, it's a movie. Because it's unreal. It is so unreal that Prince Mashele said this the other day, that black people in South Africa are slowly losing their pride, because the people that you are going to see in high positions are the people that you look at and think, how do we get here as black people? How do we get here as South Africa? How do we get to a position where doing your job and being excellent at it does not matter anymore? All you have to worry about is which party do I belong to and who do I know? And then that's it. And the whole thing, you can see that it works with the tender system as well. It's not about what the company can do. It's about what I can do from that company I'm going to give a tender to, and then we can share the money. Whether we deliver the project or not, it doesn't matter. And the criminals are loving this because, let me ask you a question. How many minutes will it take, or how many WhatsApp texts, how many texts will it take to convince Mkwanazi to look the other way when you're doing something wrong? It will take 2 minutes to convince him to take a Woolies bag to look the other way. 2 minutes, that's all it takes. Or one message it will take. Because these people are not even serious people. These people they've got zero ethics. They're not interested in improving the environment they're in. All they're interested in is enriching themselves. Because you've got to be the worst person in the world to think that Julius Mkwanazi, Julius Mkwanazi being in those positions does not affect the crime in Ekurhuleni, does not affect how the police carry themselves, does not affect how there are no consequences. And you can see through the whole Madlanga Commission, none of these people take any responsibility. If you ask them a question, oh, but you signed this document over here, so you approve this, yeah, but I approved it, but then don't look at me, look at the other guy. When the other guy comes in, he's gonna say the same thing. Yeah, but the only thing is, I'm not a legal person, so I refer it to legal. So we have to walk around in circles because the person in the middle doesn't want to say, yes, I want to take responsibility for this and I'm willing to pay for it. So it questions how we actually look at ourselves as South Africans. And for me, I'm looking at young people who are in matric and they're studying. So they're probably going to be convinced that it doesn't matter what you study. All you've got to do is get yourself close to people of power, and that's it. What is the point of acing your exams? There's no point. All you got to do is join the ANC and you'll be fine. So the question that I'm asking myself is, how did we get here? Because we are better than this, guys. We are better than this. We can do better than this, guys. Because what has happened now is we have the whole Ekurhuleni, city of Ekurhuleni, run by people who have no idea what they're doing. Everybody around them is just looking the other way. But these people are incompetent. And it's borderline criminal. I don't know why they don't just snatch them away after they do their testimony and then take them straight to prison. Because it's borderline criminal. They're crippling our country bit by bit. And right now, as you can see, the results are all over us. You drive around our cities and you see all the broken infrastructure, and then you know why. Because the city manager doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Anyway, I'll stop it there, guys. But the whole idea of this video is we can do better than this. We are better than this. We are South Africa. We are better than this, guys. Why do we keep appointing people that have no business being in those positions? Why do we do that? Why do we think that it's not going to have any consequences? Why do we believe that it's not going to show up? You drive around the city, the potholes, everything else comes down to that, appointing the wrong people. And you appoint them knowing very well that they're not qualified for that job. You appoint them because you've got your own agenda. You appoint them because you want to manipulate them into signing things that a normal person, a person who's qualified for that position wouldn't sign at all. So guys, let's just go back and reflect. If we want our country to improve and get better, we have to appoint people based on merit, black or white. Appoint them based on merit so you can get the best results. If we keep doing this, guys, if we keep doing this, it will be too late very soon. If we keep doing this and it becomes a culture, we'll have no young people who are looking forward to being excellent and good and having good ethics. Because what we are doing, we are creating a society where the only way to succeed is to get into crime. The only way to succeed is to get close to people with tenders. The only way to succeed is to get close to people of power or to sign up to a particular party. That's what we're creating at the moment. And then now we're going to be sitting down 2 years from now, 3 years from now and saying, oh, what happened? We know what happened. We keep putting idiots in very, very important positions. Anyway, guys, I'll stop it there. Until then, stay safe.